Welcome back to Shantae Risky's Revenge. So, it's time for the final labyrinth, which isn't really a labyrinth, it's kinda straightforward. We are in the Sunken Cavern, which is a small shmup section with Mermaid Shantae. This is the most this form will do, which is not bad. You know, it's kinda neat that we have, like, a dedicated section for this form. I kinda wish we got something like that for the monkey and the elephant, but I guess that's kinda been the rest of the game. Regardless, this section is actually pretty tricky, mainly because of the guys on the bottom. Basically, they will walk along the floor, and when they are level with Shantae, they will try to fire a harpoon at her. They run at different speeds, and when you're trying to dodge everything else, they can be pretty tricky to, actually detect. If you're distracted, there's a pretty good chance you're going to get hit. Also, don't back yourself into the corner. I consistently found that being on the left side led to me getting hit because, a little bit of indecision paired with only having one direction to go, and sometimes you're just not in a position to dodge. Though that being said, being on the left side also prevents guys from spawning behind you, so if that's a thing that matters, try to keep at least a little bit to the left, but not all the way there. I don't think that's a very good position to dodge. You should also realize that sometimes these guys, run to the end of the screen and then run back, and when they do that, they're not going to attack you the second time. They're basically just, I guess, leaving to attack you again, is the implication there. They're just leaving to reload off-screen where they're safe. You can kill them, of course, but it's kinda tricky to do so. And being at the bottom is not typically advantageous. Tinkerbats, of course, don't have much HP, but the fast runners can catch you by surprise. And eventually they do get just so numerous that, I really wouldn't suggest doing that. I also think that they will still spawn from the left, even if you stick around on the left, so being down there is bad just because you could get hit from behind. And one of the reasons you do want to be careful, of course, is that you can't turn around. Shantae is always facing right, and since this is a section where you just have free control, that means pressing left does not face you left, it just moves you that direction. So if a thing is behind you, it's very dangerous. I'll also say, the section feels like it does go on for a while. Honestly, it's really not that much of the video overall, but when you're actually playing it over and over and over again, it feels a little slow. Not painfully slow. And again, if you're playing this normally, you're probably fine. If you can take a hit, it's not a huge deal. I would not say this is a hugely difficult shmup, though it can be easy to just get tagged by something if you're not quite paying attention. And again, it is very easy not to pay attention. If your focus gets grabbed by anything above these guys, yeah, they kinda just get free pickings of ya. And I know I already mentioned this kind of, but be decisive. If you start going left and then go right, when trying to dodge their harpoons, you're gonna get hit. I know that from experience. Don't be like me. Don't be like me, don't get faced with a decision only to just go left or right in your head. You know the thing about chasing two rabbits, same thing goes for two different directions. Try to go in two different directions, you just stay in the first direction. Alright, so the game is very nice, and gives us a new teleporter. Which I'm sure you can also guess means that we're going to find a new save point guy in the next room as well. If you didn't figure that out, I'm sorry. I spoiled the game for you. Oh god, what have I done? I must have ruined the entirety of Risky's Revenge. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you knew there was a save point guy here too early. Alright, so there is a save point guy, however, this is not the final boss door. Instead, it leads to a dark maze that you have to go through if you want to fight the final boss. Hooray? Anyway, I chose to pick this area to actually show off the extra weapons. Flamethrower is just very short-ranged in comparison to the fireballs, but it's very powerful and does hit a lot in front of you. And not only that, it also keeps you in the air, if that's the thing that matters. The other puff clouds, on the other hand, act as landmines. Now, these two actually do work basically the same, only this version is stronger and has a bigger blast radius. It did not help there, though, and quite frankly, yeah, no, I really just prefer to have the pike ball. Look, I'm sorry, the satellite is a very powerful option. Having defense without needing to focus on attacking yourself is very helpful. Plus, you know, having 3 options rotating around you is, very strong. It will rip just about everything to shreds. Unfortunately, we are coming up on the thing it won't rip to shreds. That, of course, being the final boss, but you could probably figure that out. I mean, it's fair to assume. So we get here, and indeed, they're the zombies. I don't know if I'd say friend is the right word. He's really kind of a parental figure in the absence of any others. I mean, he's certainly keeping secrets like an overbearing dad. What, are you gonna go on a quest for revenge now? Ugh. And yeah, as it turns out, Roddy Top sold us out because she does really want to eat our brain, but then Risky said no. Well, you're giving up rather easily. Alright, well that's a plot point. We were betrayed by a friend of ours who is upset. A little bit for having betrayed us, I hope, but mostly because she doesn't get to eat our brains, which, to be fair, was kind of the basis of this relationship. Shantae's more mad at Risky though, so that's nice, I guess. I didn't think Shantae liked Roddy Tops that much to give her the benefit of the doubt, but you know what? The other person is her arch enemy, so I can understand disliking her more. Give you the seals 3 and the uncle you'll relinquish unto me. Damn it, I hate this exact situation that happens all the time. Ugh. Oh no, Risky's revenge was successful! You weren't supposed to let that happen, Shantae. And I mean, really, you got fired, so it's not your responsibility anymore, but alas, we do have to give them up, and for some reason it gives us the option, even though Shantae's made up her minds. If you choose no, Shantae will just say, no, I do need to give her the magic seals, and then gives her the magic seals. I genuinely don't understand why there is a choice there. To be fair to Risky, she might be an evil pirate, but Mimic can just walk on out. That's nice of you. But of course you will attempt to murder Shantae now, so I guess you're not that nice. But you know what? Holding up your end of the bargain is a thing a lot of villains don't do. Most of them would just shoot Mimic while he was walking away. It's kind of refreshing to just see a villain that says, yeah, no, I am a person of my word. I am going to kill you, but I will let the hostage go free if you do the thing I asked you. And then they do the thing. They actually do the thing. The murder, however, is still a problem, so it is time, once again, to fight a boat. The boat's a little stronger than it was before, of course, this no longer being a first boss. So, you gonna open your mouth, buddy? You are. So, the weakness, of course, is when it opens its mouth, you hit the barrel explodes. You know how this goes. Afterwards, it'll just start firing cannonballs at you. However, some of these cannonballs are actually the little pods that the Tinkerbats get shot into town with sometimes. It's got a couple of other attacks as well, if we could see those. Oh, no, you're gonna let me hit you? Okay, sure. Unfortunately, this is a rule of 4 boss and not a rule of 3 boss. And I say this because this one is kind of long. It kind of goes on for a while. And it might seem pretty easy because I just scored 2 hits in a row, but first things first, you do not get a lot of leeway in how long you get to attack. Second off, this still takes a while. So yeah, right there I managed to mess up. This was not one of my best runs, but I did want to show you there just how bad it is to miss the boats. You don't really get that much time to actually hit the barrels, and if you miss, yeah, no, they just get fired off in 3s, and then you miss an opportunity, which is by far the worst part of the whole arrangement, because now he's just going to shoot an anchor from his mouth. Which, thankfully, there's enough time to acknowledge that that's an anchor and not a barrel, so I feel like it's a pretty easy dodge overall. But yeah, otherwise it's just firing cannonballs and walking back and forth, and it does this a lot. So yeah, like I said, I had faster runs, where I was able to just efficiently do this all the time. But I figured, hey, I should show off the consequence of not being able to hit it, which is having your time wasted. It doesn't have an exact pattern. Sometimes it started the battle with the explosive barrel, sometimes it just didn't. Sometimes it just decided to anchor instead, which is annoying. Alright, please barrel. Thank you. And there she blows. Goodbye. Alright, that's the second boat of yours I've destroyed. Do you have a big mech this time? That was pretty cool. Oh, wait, shit, yeah, the lamp's gone, isn't it? Alright, so the magic lamp powered up. Alright, Risky, please tell us what the magic lamp does, as if we all don't already know. Say what for? Hey, that's sucking things out, not pouring things in. Why would we say Alright, well this is an unexpected development. I kinda figured she just rubbed the lamp and then, you know, we just have to give her treasure or whatever, but nope. Instead, this is a genie lamp that can connect to Shantae. And yeah, no, that's the part you would expect, right? Like, the genie lamp makes you do the genie thing. However, instead of forcing Shantae to do her bidding, which I guess she would only do half of her bidding, being half genie, yeah, no, like Shantae says, she's only half genie. So, you know, she probably could have fought against that a bit, but then Risky decided, what if she just took our power instead? Said in bold and in highlighted text. Alright, so, here's the big twist of the game. Shantae's human now. Didn't see that one coming, did ya? I mean, pretty well. Oh, but now there's an evil Shantae. Oh no. Oh, that's brutal, Risky. I don't know why I keep reading Risky as a type of villain who would, like, make Shantae swab the decks if she won. Because this is the second time now she's just wanted us, I would say, avidly dead. She's very avid about it. Alright, so the final boss is Nega Shantae, with an excellent final boss theme. This one's cool as hell. The battle, however, is brutal, and good god, I'm glad I'm not doing a no-hit run anymore, because this would have sucked. That being said, though, no, this is a real cool battle. While Shantae's forms have never really been good in a fight, I don't know why she's worried about using the items instead, considering these have always been better for bosses. Mega Shantae can make good use of our other forms, and the cool thing is, this game kind of rewards you for memorizing what each dance looks like, rather than just like what position it is under Shantae's dances, because that's your tell for each attack, and I really like that. That's such a cool idea. That is a really good way to, like, make the player learn how your moveset actually works, now that you can no longer use it. So Monkey Bullet is by far the easiest attack to dodge. It just climbs the walls and, you know, telegraphs very clearly when it's going to jump. Elephant's a little trickier, if only because it bursts out when it attacks. Mermaid's brutal to dodge, just because those bullets fly everywhere. You kinda need to be in the corner when she does this. When she's attacking, though, if you can actually figure out where she attacks, it's not too bad to dodge, actually. It's fairly easy to read, but again, you just have to learn it first, and Elephant, as long as you can avoid that initial rush, she stops halfway into the room. Okay, so now she's powering up, so all that advice goes out of the room. Every attack is deadly. Everything is faster, everything goes a little bit farther, like Elephant right here. Even Monkey Bullet is a threat at this point. This attack, however, is just fucking brutal. Every run that ended because of Mermaid Shantae. I wish I could have utilized Mermaid Shantae this effectively. I wish I could just spin around and fire bullets like this. It would have been nice. Even Monkey Shantae, though, is really fast and brutal to dodge. So I think the general advice, if you don't care about achievements especially, is just use potions. You can brute force this fight as long as you have enough healing. I would have also liked to use magic, but I promised myself I wouldn't use any potions for this. And plus, I also get the achievement, which again, I care about less. This was more about, you know, the fact that if I'm not doing a no-hit run, that I at least want to do a no-death, no-potions run. And I did it, it just took a few tries. Because again, once you get to Mermaid Shantae, this attack's really fast and it is brutal to dodge, and you can no longer make your hitbox smaller by turning into Monkey Shantae. Mega Shantae can do that though. She can do that all day, every day. Oh god, so of course she's using Mermaid a lot. Again, when you know where she's firing, it's a little easier to dodge, but given the speed of it all, it is really tricky, though, when it's moving that fast. I have trouble kind of reading the attack when it's going so fast. It's hard to parse, and even with the pike ball, she is a damage sponge, and that was just me fucking up a lot. I'm at that point where, like, I'm getting hit a lot, and I have to be close to the end of the fight, so I'm getting sloppy because I'm just so close, but also, what if I die, though? What if I die? I could very well die. You don't know, maybe I will show a death. Maybe I've been lying to you all along. I certainly cut it close. And yeah, right here, I figured I was dead at this point. I wasn't, I managed to dodge. And then I just waited for her, because I know running is also a very dangerous attack. Like many enemies in this game, just the ability to walk forward into Shantae can be tricky to dodge. And now she's just attacking rapidly and still not dying. There is no indication of her health other than when she powers up. But that's less of a good sign for you and more of a bad one. When she powers up, that's when you know you're about to get stomped. But I persevered. I absolutely thought I was dead at that point. I was so close. Oh, I had to redo the dark room and that first fight so many times. Yeah, sure, you're really running out of time to have revenge. If you don't get your revenge by the end of the game, then we're not going to title another game Risky's Revenge. I mean, I would assume most people don't. Maybe Way Forward's different. Shantae 3, Risky's Revenge 2. Uncle, what about my hair? Still looks great. Oh, thank God. To be fair, it is actually a good question once you sit down and think, hey, wait a sec, that hair attack should be magical, right? But, could actually be that it's part of her human side instead. Or lingering magic, or maybe it's just all of that product. Though, to be fair, the one attack that Shantae never got was a hair attack. She could run, she could jump, she could transform, but she couldn't actually do a hair whip, so that's actually really interesting. It's a really creative final boss, and it is a fun one to learn. I just kind of wish that I didn't have to deal with the lead up to it. That got annoying. Alright, so yeah, we are actually ending the game off with Shantae being fully human. It wasn't the case that we killed Shantae and the power flowed back in. Nope, it's just gone. Oh, okay, you've come to your senses.
Alright, you actually destroyed half of yourself, and it was the magic half. That's rad as hell. Plus, you've supported local businesses by buying all the items that helped you survive. It's great advertisement, too.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, but, yeah, no, the reason they force you to have the first Puff Cloud item to blow up the detonator is so that you have at least one item going into the final battle. But, of course, the Pike Ball is the best one. Just IMO. Also, the mayor mentions that he's going to discuss getting the town back from the ammo baron, so unless that goes horribly wrong, the one plot point that I was kind of hoping would continue on into the next game is, not gonna happen. Again, barring anything going horribly wrong for the mayor, we do have two loose ends, as we have a bit of a bookend. Shifting back up to the sky. That's how this game started, though, shifting all the way down to Shantae's house. But yeah, the loose ends are... Roddy Tops ran away crying, so friendship ended with Roddy Tops. Now Shantae is also not my friend, I killed her. That relationship didn't go well either, my magic half is dead. We'll have to rekindle that relationship another time, though. And maybe rekindle these magic powers, too. I mean, it's all well and good to, want to protect the town no matter what, but, I mean, like... We've got transformations, it's kind of a serious staple, right? We gotta get those back. Alright, so I've already talked about the overworld enough, but, like... This game feels a bit half-baked. There were exactly 2 proper dungeons in it. The other was Battle Tower, the other was a shmup section. It's a very short game, and I think its biggest problem is that, like, it does have a lot of the same strengths that the Game Boy Color Shantae had. It looks great, it has a great soundtrack, the characters are charming. So, like, it did what that game did well. But it also does what that game did poorly. Like, the overworld's not great, some of the backtracking feels a bit exhaustive, some of the enemies can be kind of annoying, and like, it doesn't do anything particularly new is the other issue. Like, Shantae for the Game Boy Color was really impressive, and while this game does look lovely, it's some excellent sprite work, original Shantae was cool for pushing the Game Boy Color so hard. Like, that was an end-of-console game. It even had some Game Boy Advance aspects, it was out so late, but man, it was such a good Game Boy Color game. I don't even know if this would have pushed the DSi either. It doesn't do anything to really give itself its own identity. outside of just being the sequel to the original Shantae. It's got its own plot beats, but nothing much else. This game really struggles to find its own identity, and that does mean it's a little bit underwhelming. Like, again, very good introduction. Like, starting off Risky's Revenge, I did think, oh hell yeah, time for some more Shantae. I was excited for it, but yeah, no, it really doesn't do its own thing. It is a slightly improved original Shantae. Alright, so, we got a playtime of almost 4 hours. I did get all of the items, but... okay, there's like 4 different ending screens, and I got the worst one. I got the little ending screen of Roddy Tops. So, I guess we'll meet again someday, Roddy. Hopefully all will be forgiven. We also get magic mode, which I'm not going to show off much of, but, while I have a few final thoughts here, I'll just show the footage I got of it, which is literally the start of the game, which isn't even really enough to show off what magic mode actually does. As it sounds, it does make magic more efficient, so it drains the actual meter less when you use items, but you also take more damage, so... that's a trade-off for the final boss, I will say. I would call that a hard mode. It's tricky, yeah. It also changes the outfit, too. Just FYI, but that's kind of obvious. Look at it. It's probably on screen by now. But yeah, no, like, I don't really know what development looked like, so I'm not gonna comment on that at all. I do remember that originally Risky's Revenge was supposed to be episodic. Clearly it really couldn't have been episodic. You would not get much between games, but yeah, no, like I kind of strayed from saying this, but like, okay, like, back in the if you played this back in the day, when it first came out, it would have been a lot cooler, I would say. Again, I probably said this in my intro ramble, but like, seeing Shantae again years later would have been pretty rad if you were following the original game and you really liked that and you wanted to see more from it from way forward. At the time, this would have been really cool, even if it is a little bit lackluster, and again, doesn't have as much of an identity as the original game. That mattered less at that point because there were 2 games. Compared to what Shantae has now, Risky's Revenge definitely feels like it gets blotted out by everything that comes after it, and even the single thing that came before it. That being said, though, like, while most of the game was a MacGuffin plot, I do like the ending. I do like that they actually do just say, alright, surprise, the magic lamp was for stealing power, not utilizing it. Well, utilizing it in its original body. It does get utilized, but, you know, just in an evil version of Shantae, so... technically, that power is being used. But yeah, no, like, for what started as, you know, a fairly standard MacGuffin plot that's kept alive mostly through, again, a charming cast of characters, but not the most story, the end actually hits pretty well. I feel like Roddy Top's, you know, kidnapping Mimic comes a little bit out of nowhere, especially since she wasn't as aggressive about eating Shantae's brain this time around. But we'll have to wait until Shantae and the Pirate's Curse to see if anything comes from that. Oh, and before we leave, if I don't already have the images of it up, I guess this will be the point where I bring them up. I mentioned before my playtime, and how I got basically the quote-unquote worst ending. That's not true, I got the second worst ending. And also, they're not bad endings. It's basically just... it pulls a Metroid, so... depending on your playtime and your item completion, you get certain ending screens, so... I got the Roddy Tops one. There are 3 more, depending on if you beat the game over 2 hours, either with or without items. I, of course, got the with items version, so that's the slightly better one. You can also clear the game in more than 2 hours without all the items, and that gets you the kind of standard, like, Shantae lounging image that I've been using for the end slate this whole game. That being said, holy cow, under 2 hours is really tricky. I thought I was running this game pretty well, but I got nowhere near the time I needed to actually get one of the better ending images. Like, granted, there were plenty of points where I saved and I didn't need to, so I did have a few detours, but still, I got almost double the time I needed. Now, surprisingly enough, Shantae in a bikini is actually the ending you get for under 2 hours without all 34 items, which is surprising. I would have figured they would have made that the hardest one to get, but the hardest one to get, beat the game under 2 hours with 100% is the Risky Boots one, which is, not Shantae in a bikini, so I guess they're not following Metroid rules? Anyway, yeah, I'm just thankful that, like, the actual ending doesn't require beating the game under 2 hours, because that would suck. It's just the end screen. I can live with getting a picture of Roddy Tops instead of 2 different Shantaes or Risky Boots. It's fine. With that, though, I've certainly gone on for long enough. It's been a while since I've started this. And I swear I didn't stop playing for months on end because I hated this or anything. I just did not have Thursday time. Sorry. I'm sorry about that one. It should not have hiatused for so long. But regardless, I did enjoy my time with Risky's Revenge, Overworld aside. I think it's a perfectly fine game. It's very obvious that it could have had more. It feels like it's missing a few ingredients. It feels like it's a bit short. But that's it for Shantae for now. Next time I get back into the series, we'll be playing Pirate's Curse. But until that happens, I'll be playing other things. So, I have been Fefner. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time for whatever I do next.